So everybody is worried about the current fighting that is going between Russia and Ukraine. Already the rates of commodities are increasing. One question that everybody is asking is, if Russia uses the nuclear weapons, what would be the consequences? Because recently the American president, he gave a stern warning to Russia that we will not spare using nuclear weapons if it is required. In the modern times, this is the most harsh threat that has been given. So everybody is worried, naturally, because the biggest country's president is saying, we will not hesitate to use nuclear weapons. So the question that everybody is asking is, what will happen? Why everybody is worried about nuclear weapons? Because Prabhupada is explaining here, uh, a great scientist may make discoveries in atomic energy for the quick destruction of the world and may be awarded the best prize in recognition of his service, but he has to undergo the reactions of his work. So now somebody has discovered this nuclear energy, somebody has discovered this nuclear weapon, and what will happen? A quick destruction of the world will happen, and of course he has been given a Nobel Prize. So Prabhupada is saying, yes, that may be there. So people knows that this nuclear bomb means big destruction because the world has already seen. So many other scientists, they're busy estimating, making computer modeling to see what will happen if Russia and America gets into a nuclear war. What they're saying is, when the weapon is used directly, immediately 360 million people would die immediately. That is about 36 crores. And in the next 2 years, 5 billion people would die out of starvation. Recently, the world has celebrated that the population has reached 8 billion. In that 8 billion, 5 billion would die in the next 2 years because of hunger. See, already the rates are going up between Ukraine and Russia. Apparently, there are some two countries in the entire world, Radha Govinda Kicha. But the impact can be seen. And if there is a nuclear war, that's all, 5 billion. Then they were modeling what will happen if not a full blown nuclear war like this between America and Russia, but let us India and Pakistan, they use their weapons. What will happen? There's one more calculation then. And according to the Wikipedia, minimum 2 to 3 billion people would die just between two countries only. It's not a full fledged nuclear, 2 billion mass destruction. So this is what everybody is. And then to produce these nuclear weapons, you need very specialized industries. A lot of hard work is involved. A lot of hard work. Actually, after COVID we passed through the COVID waves. An article came, what was the most famous, most purchased tablet during COVID. You came to know? So they figured out that the Dolo 650 was the most famous. I think they made some hundreds of crores of turnover. One estimate is that they produced 350 crore tablets. These are very big numbers. 350 crore means it's a very big number. So to produce those tablets, you will have big factories, big industries. And since a big demand is there, particularly during COVID too, tremendous demand was there. So many people were working. 10,000 employees are there in that company, and they're all working very hard. And then they're working hard and they're producing tablets. What are the owners are doing? The owners are busy finding market. How to sell all this? Because once you set up a factory, it produces a certain number, so you have to sell it. And they sold 350 crore. Later on, one more article came that in order to sell this Dolo 650, they have given many freebies to the doctors. You have to go to the doctor and then you have to give freebies, and they have given worth 1,000 crores freebies to all the doctors so that they recommend Dolo 650. That has become a big issue. How can you market like this? How can you influence the doctors and the society like this? Anyway, that's a moral issue which Prabhupada talks about in the purport also. Yes, morally also one has to be right. Very beautifully Prabhupada is explaining here. The most of them engage during the daytime in hard physical labor. This is Kali Yuga. And this is nothing new. Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, Manastastan Indriyani Karshati. This material world is such a way that everybody has to engage in very troublesome duties and a hard physical labor. Their senses are engaged very extensively in troublesome duties in the gigantic plants of heavy industrial enterprise. These enterprises are not ordinary, very heavy industrial enterprise, and then they have to do hard work throughout the day. And then the owners of such factories are engaged in finding they're busy in finding a market for their industrial products. Owners are busy finding markets, and these laborers are engaged in extensive troublesome duties, extensive physical labor. So that is what Brahmaji is explaining here. Ahnya pruthathakarana nishi nishayana. During the daytime, Ahni means during the daytime, apruta engaged, arthakarana distressing engagements. Kali Yuga, the engagements are highly distressing. Arthakarana. Everybody is working very hard. They're engaged in distressing engagements. Then what is happening? Nishi nishayana. In the night time, they're unable to sleep because of insomnia. Why is that? Nana manoratha dhiya. Their minds are racing and in speculation. They're making plans, mental speculation. The minds are racing. And they're seeing the potential. They make plans. Let us multiply our turnovers. Let us find this market. Let us find that market. If one more COVID wave comes, how nice it will be. because it can give another thousands of crores of turnover. And who knows, they may even create one more wave. This is what one of the allegations is. These big uh, industries, sometimes they only create some of these so that their market is nicely. I remember when I was working in software industry, we used to regularly get these viruses, malware or virus or whatever. The names are now improved. So those days they were discussing that it's basically the antivirus people who create the virus, and then when the virus is spreading, everybody what is the solution, and then immediately comes, see, we are ready, we are very smart, we are very fast, we worked out a solution, and then this is the solution. So actually they worked out the solution much earlier. They know this virus and this is antivirus, and then they release it, and then they'll say yes, now we figured out. And then who knows, this is a big gamble. So Lord Brahma in the beginning of creation, he is predicting these principles are not, it's not that they are unknown. The Brahma, before even he created anything, he is now discussing about what will happen to the people who are averse to the devotional service of the Lord. Ahni apra arthakarana, engaged in horrible works. And then nishi nishayana, they will not be able to sleep because their minds are racing with the plans, more and more plans. Nana manoratha dhiya, so their intelligence, it interrupts the sleep. And then kshana bhagna nidra. Bhagna nidra means they cannot sleep. Many times they wake up because their plans are running in their heads. But then what happens to those plans? Daiva ahatardha rachana. All those plans are frustrated because of the supernatural or the superhuman powers. One has to realize that in this world there are superhuman powers. The material nature is extremely powerful, and that is a superhuman power. So anybody may make a plan. I will achieve this, I will achieve that. But one has to know that there are some superhuman powers are also acting, and they have their own rules and regulations. How much to permit, what plans to permit, and what plans to be frustrated. So this is the situation. Daivaha Tardha Rachana Rashayopi Deva. And then Brahma is saying, even Rishaya, even the sages also, their endeavors are frustrated. Why? Yushmat Prasanga Vimukha, because they are averse to your topics. Anybody who is averse to the topics of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, iha samsaranti, they simply rotate in this material world. This is the situation Lord Brahma is explaining. Now, why is that all these things are happening? Why those plans are frustrated? That has been hinted in the last verse, where it is said that Atmana idam atmana indriyarda maya bhalam bhagavato jana isha pashe. Anybody who sees that this body is enjoyable, anybody who sees the other bodies are enjoyable, then he will have to go through aprutaptakarana nishinishayana, and then kshanabhagna nidra. Anybody who sees that this body or the material bodies are enjoyable, then he has to go through this cycle, and then samsaranti, he will continue to rotate in this cycle of repeated births and death. So very powerful statement and warning from Lord Brahma, and